let's talk cigar cutters. Okay, whether you're starting to smoke a cigar for the first time or you're a regular smoker, there are different cigar cutters. Here's your most common type, called a guillotine. 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 Now, this one's meant for larger gauge cigars. Simply put the cigar in there, clip the end off. How much do you clip off? Oh, here's what I recommend. Put this flat on the table, opened up, put your cigar in there, cut it. It's going to cut the barest end off. Now this is your standard type of cigar, not your torpedo, which is one that comes to a point. That you want to take off as much as you want. Here's the bottom line. What works for you is the right way to do it. Now, other standards beyond that. I recommend taking off as little as possible. The reason for that is there's more to smoke then. I've heard some people go, oh, that's what the band is for. You take it off at the band. Okay, they're kidding. And if they're not, well, as long as they're enjoying what they're smoking, doesn't matter. Guillotine. Now, there are other kinds of guillotines or cutters. Here's a nice one. Pops open like that. And you can see the size difference between those two. You know, this one here is smaller. This is more for your standard cigar. This is for a larger gauge cigar that I enjoy. Which, by the way, you can always support me on Patreon at patreon.com/talkofthetavern, because that's where I get my pipes and cigars from. Or you can PayPal me money for pipes and cigars, or you could just send them. See, I've got no pride. Here's another type of cutter. This here is called a V. Let's see if I can get you to see that on the camera. Okay. See, it's a V shape. What this does, it cuts a V out of the end of your cigar. Okay? The smaller the hole you draw the smoke through, the more intense of a smoke. In other words, the more flavor. Some people might say, I don't get that. But then again, some people also never understand the flavor of the leather or the cedar or whatever the notes are of that cigar. Myself included, quite often. Don't feel bad if you don't get that stuff. Now, there are bullet cutters. Bullet cutters are my favorite. I'm going to take a little extra time on them. Okay? This is a standard, cheap bullet cutter. Okay? Just a little hole. Take your cigar. I recommend twisting it in. The reason for that is because if you just push, you're going to crumple your cigar. That is a sharpened blade, and that's going to cut it. And a twisting motion is going to work out better for you. I also have a larger one of those. And that's for, again, your 50-plus gauge cigars. We'll go over gauges another time. Some lighters have little pop-ups on the bottom. And it locks into place, and then you use that. I have a couple different kinds like that. There's one there, it just flips out. I love these because they're multi-purpose, and I don't have to carry a cutter with me in addition to my lighter. Matter of fact, here's the lighter here, and all these are refillable, including this one. This is relatively cheap, $10. Pops right out of the bottom. Nice and easy. I can see my fill. And at $10, you don't cry as opposed to when you lose a $40 or $70 one. And then here's my favorite bullet cutter. Now, I like bullet cutters because they, again, have smaller area to draw through. I get less tobacco in my mouth when I'm smoking, especially if it's not the tightest rolled cigar. So I have another bullet cutter that a friend made for me. See that? And that is made out of 2 bullets. They also put a bottle opener on it, and I've got this cap right here, so I can use it as a pipe tamper also. But that is a sharpened edge to cut a cigar. So that's your basics on cutters. Are there more kinds? Yes, and somebody will invent one. If I cover every damn kind out there, somebody else will invent another kind. It's just going to happen. With your torpedoes, your guillotines are going to work best. I've done a V-cut on torpedoes before. I've done a bullet cut, but don't try it. It just doesn't work that well. But what I recommend when you cut a torpedo is leave about the equivalent of what a bullet cut would leave. Now sometimes it's packed too tight and you can't draw on that. You got to take a little more off. So your mileage may vary. Bottom line is, smoke what you like and like what you smoke. Don't worry about anybody else. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, share this with your friends, and let me know your favorite type of cut on your cigars down below in the comments.